Shroud is an episode that is basically, in a nutshell, about Daniel Jackson as a prior of the Ori. The last time the audience would have seen Daniel Jackson prior to the Shroud would have been in the Quest Part 2. Basically, we left him behind, uncertain of his fate. This episode, we actually reveal him having transformed now into a prior, and through the course of the episode, we find out that he's actually allowed himself to become a prior in order to, deal with the greater good.
I needed her to make me a prior.
Hello.
So I could steal an Ori ship and fly it through the supergate to the Ori galaxy with a weapon on board and destroy them.
It was Merlin himself who was the only person in existence that had the knowledge to create the ancient weapon. It was that transference to Daniel, and once Merlin was out of the picture, Daniel then became the only one who therefore had the knowledge, and with the power that he was able to achieve through the power of Merlin, was able to still maintain himself as Daniel Jackson, the person.
I was able to protect Daniel, make Adria think he had succumbed to her will.
Merlin?
It was necessary.
Another episode with Marina, and it's always great to have Marina around. I mean, she's just so much fun. She's a great gal, she looks amazing, and she's a great actor, so it's always nice to have her there, and hopefully we'll see her again. Because her future is sort of left uncertain. We leave her basically, unconscious on the ship when we take off. We just leave her there, and we don't know what her fate is. What we're setting up here right now is scene number 1 of the Shroud. This is where our team is talking to a gentleman by the name of Tavares, the village leader, who is expressing to them that he's had contact with a prior of the Ori, but a little more of a soft sell approach, more of a passive approach. And this is coming as a bit of a surprise to our team. We discover that prior is in fact Daniel Jackson. Everything from the team's perspective was from a little bit of a distance, and we wanted to make sure that we had people actually physically blocking his face so we couldn't tell who it was. We couldn't actually see him. And then the reveal in close-up that he's actually, fully in makeup and is in fact, committed himself to being a prior.
Hallowed are the Ori.
One of the big ways that Michael needed to convince them was first and foremost to be himself, to outside of the actual physicality of being a prior, that it's him. Like, come on guys, it's me.
Jack, it's me.
What? That's supposed to convince me? Look at you.
Have I ever let you down? No, don't answer that. Have I ever let you down when it really mattered?
All his mannerisms were Daniel Jackson. He was 100% of the time, close your eyes and you know that it's him. Particularly, there was a scene with Michael and Claudia where Claudia's sitting on Michael's lap, and it starts off as a very light scene, but then, during the course of the scene, we realize that the implications of it are much greater, and for us to commit that kind of trust, is pretty far-reaching. So it's a pretty powerful scene.
Well, I wouldn't let them kill you.
Of course not. I won't let that happen to you. But would you support me if what I was proposing could very well open the door to the final Ori victory?
It was pretty difficult for Michael to be wearing the makeup. I mean, he had some pretty hideous hours to contend with, and the contact lenses that we put into him were driving him insane. Basically, we only put them in during close-ups because they were really irritating his eyes, and there wasn't really that much we could do about it. Try to give him some top light to create the raccoon eyes kind of effect where you didn't really see it that clearly. There's a sequence in the Shroud where Daniel basically overpowers the anti-prior device, where Robert Picardo's character Woolsey comes in to give him the news that he's going to be shipped off to Antarctica and put into stasis. What we're setting up for here is Mr. Picardo, Woolsey, coming in. He's informing him that he's going to be shipped off to Antarctica to be basically put in stasis until they can figure out what's really happened to him. Jackson, of course, will use his spidey sense powers to break out of his bonds, throw a couple of guards out the door, and seal Woolsey into the room and have a little confrontation with him.
not part of my plan.
Dan Shea, our stunt coordinator, and I had discussed whether or not it would be worthy of a ratchet or a. In this particular case, we decided to use basically just a line jerk.
Is that really? The boy went to his ropes right there. So that's still too far, and if we can get like snappier, a little bit back.
Okay,
so just be safe distance-wise, but
okay, that's okay.
it's more the original, the initial pops, which it's good. It's going to be 2, 1, go. 2, 1, go. Good pop though. God, was that nice when we went too far.
Off camera, way back behind on the stage, were guys basically on ropes that on a cue would give a tug and send the guys flying back.
Go.
It's something that looks like it's a very quick, instant moment, but it takes a good hour and a half to set up, plus requires rehearsal time for timing. In a nutshell, it was absolutely fabulous having Rick back. First of all, he's a great guy, so he's just fun. He's just a nice guy to have around.
Mr. Anonymous behind the camera, shooting behind the scenes. It is Mr.
He was actually really, really into it. He phoned me on a couple of occasions to talk about the script. He had specific notes that he wanted to address with dialogue changes, and I'd never experienced that before. With Rick, it usually just falls off the truck on the day.
That'd be nice. Real nice.
Okay, one more, please.
That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet. How about sweet?
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
He was great in all the scenes with Michael. I mean, the two of them in a room together it's just great. I mean, you'll read a scene and you'll imagine it in a certain way, but when it's up on its feet with those two guys, it's just incredible.
This is new.
Yeah, it's always something, isn't it?
Gotta tell you though, not your look.
There were a few lines on the set that came out almost as improv, but it was pretty minimal. It was just them playing the beats of the scene the way they saw it. But no, it was cool. But there was a little bit of ad-lib going on for sure. And same with Robert Picardo. The scenes with Rick and Robert Picardo and Bo were dynamite as well.
You have to understand. We've considered all the evidence at our disposal. But more than that, as difficult as this is, I feel very strongly that we have no viable option.
The actual physical construction of the ancient weapon, as done by Daniel Jackson, and the face-sucking device, basically there is going to be a visual effects sequence of the whole thing in a holographic type of an image up above, over top of the face sucker, where the parts will start to be manipulated, and then as they physically take form, they will descend upon the actual device, and we will see the actual physical form taking actual place. The model shop had to actually create and physically build each component. It was in multiple stages. There was the base, then a secondary platter that went on top of that. Then there was another platter that had all the housings for all the crystals themselves, these little arms that would come around. Then the actual Sangral jewel that would be sort of the last piece, and then the actual activation crystal itself. Basically, you had to do it in a series of locked-off shots. You would just lock down the camera, and then we would just literally, just quite simply, physically place the pieces in and do it as a comp shot. Another highlight moment in the script for me is the actual scene where Daniel becomes a prior. It's the hot and heavy scene, really, the sort of the mild love scene, if you will, and the transformation that takes place, that Adria initiates on Daniel after the kiss. The visual effect was something that was going to sort of encircle and envelop the two of them to blend the before and after, because it was a tricky shot to line up, and we would take the original shots, lock the cameras down, go away, and shoot something else with different cameras while Michael was off into makeup for 3.5 hours to get the prior makeup put on. One of the big challenges on Stargate, or Atlantis for that matter, is to get all your cast in one set at the same time, and actually have them standing on the mark or during as they're told, and being serious. At the very end of the Shroud, everybody goes up to the window the Odyssey to have a look out at the Supergate. So we've got Michael and Amanda and Rick and Claudia and Chris and Ben, just to get them all to stand on the mark and actually say the lines and keep it serious. It was very entertaining. I think there were some contest winners that had been that were right off set, and they were watching this whole thing happen. It was pretty funny. It was pretty sweet.
See what I have to deal with all day, every day? See what I have to deal with? You see what I have to deal with when there's all of these people in the same scene together?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the Shroud. I think it turned out pretty good. It was a good episode, lots of great performances. It was a great script and a lot of fun.